Welcome to Morgellons discussion and microscopy videos with your host, Jeremy Murphy.
Hi, and welcome back to Morgellons discussion and microscopy videos. I'm your host, Jeremy Murphy, and today, man, we had a great month this month in August. There's a lot of good news that came out and a lot of recognition about Morgellons from some serious media outlets. So I want to go over and recap those today, and also we've got a special bonus at the end of the episode. By the way, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and every time I upload a new video, you're going to know about it first. Alright, so the first thing we had this month was, of course, the Dermatology Advisor. I made a TikTok video about that and re-uploaded it to the YouTube. And what's going on there is Dermatology Advisor is a trusted news outlet for professional dermatologists. The parent company that owns that publication has about 24 other publications specific to the medical industry and each profession inside the medical industry. So if you have an ophthalmologist, they probably are reading an Ophthalmology Advisor by this same parent company. So this was great. Actually, what they did was they syndicated the information about the recent case study, which is, you may have seen, the Morgellons, Lyme disease associated with the genital lesions. Is basically, it's a case study. This lady went in and her doctor determined that she had Morgellons for her. She didn't diagnose herself. So he did that, and he looked for evidence of Lyme disease, found it, and they were able to really demonstrate that this lady's skin presentations, including the Morgellons, was very strongly associated with Lyme disease. So that's an important study. She also had the herpes virus as well, which may or may not be an important factor, but the people who have herpes tend to develop folliculitis, and it can be a varying range of infections that can cohabitate inside those follicular pores. The Staphylococcus bacteria is the primary. But of course, as we know, biofilm colonies generally cohabitate 6 to 8 various pathogenic microbial species. So Dermatology Advisor rocked it out with some great Morgellons news this month. That was good to see, good to hear. And then that got followed up later in the week by Medscape, actually syndicated an earlier Morgellons study, the association between Morgellons disease and Lyme disease. And this is a strong study that included 26 patients and was able to demonstrate active Lyme disease infection in all of them, basically. 25. I can't remember what happened with that other patient. I think it was determined that they had evidence of Lyme disease. I'll have to go back and take a look and find out. But yeah, 25 patients with Lyme disease and they got Morgellons. That's strong evidence that there's an association there. And so Medscape had never syndicated or indexed Morgellons research up to this point, besides the unexplained dermopathy study. And so seeing this on their website was huge. This was just like one of those validating moments that you've been praying for years. You know, your family's praying for you, and they're hoping that this damn Morgellons gets validated one day. Well, the Medscape doing this basically was like 10 steps up the staircase towards the ultimate goal. And so that was great to see that on there. Finally, I can't believe that I missed this in the beginning of the month, but and I think the reason why I missed it is because it was talking about the horsehair worm. There was a Reuters article. I made a TikTok video, and I read the article, but they must have updated it, because the first time I read it, I didn't see the association. Reuters included the history of Morgellons study in their article about the horsehair worm. In fact, when you go look at their article, it says that Morgellons is not a parasite. It is a disease with which multicolored filaments embedded in skin tissue, and then they link to that study, the history of Morgellons. That was just like blowing the door off the hinges towards legitimization of Morgellons, because Reuters, as you know, is a serious news agency. Several outlets syndicate their stories, and to have real Morgellons science syndicated and featured in a Reuters article was huge. And I mean, I wish I had seen it earlier in the month. It came out right at the beginning on August 1st. So it actually preceded these other two stories that were in the media. But man, I'm so glad I found this and went back and reread it, because that's definitely something that we didn't want to miss. All right, so as an added bonus, I had a advocate reach out to me on Twitter, and thank you, Twitter, for all your continued support. And I definitely want to also thank the people who are on Facebook, who are being especially supportive of our efforts. And because when you come on this channel and you participate in the discussion, that makes it our channel. And everybody has a lot to contribute about this particular health issue, and there's more than enough science to discuss. But we can definitely keep it factual. That's one of the things that I was talking about earlier in the week. I made a video about Ginger Savely talking about Morgellons patients are 800% more likely to commit suicide. It's not 800 times more likely. If she said that, which I don't think she did, it must have been a mistake, because 800 times, well, 8 times is 800%, right? So that would mean that 800 times would be 80,000%, and that just doesn't make any sense. That's kind of ridiculous at that point. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable. So keep your information factual. Make sure to check, and when you're looking at these stories, read them thoroughly, all the way down, top to bottom, so you don't miss anything. Because like that Reuters article, they could slip a Marianne Middleveen history of Morgellons in there, and you could totally miss it if you're getting all raged out about the parasitic horseworms. So don't do that. And finally, this great Morgellons advocate reached out to me on Twitter and shared with me this video. This clinic in Turkey is producing these YouTube videos, and this one in particular covers Morgellons disease and its association with Lyme disease. So, it's a video. It's a presentation on Lyme disease, and they feature the information about the association of Lyme disease with Morgellons. And so this is great for Turkish patients who are suffering with this terrible dermopathy. And there are resources that you can reach out to in your region to have this addressed. So I'm going to include links to both these pages about the top Morgellons news and the Turkish Morgellons Lyme presentation in the description below. Thank everybody again for being here and joining me early in the morning here when I like to get up, cook some coffee, bacon, and eggs, and start taking the walks around the block. I did go back and played some disc golf for the first time in like 17 or 18 weeks. It was like 17 weeks, and it was just 9 holes, very flat course with no gumballs. And I had a good time. My game was terrible, but man, it felt good to be able to make it all the way around the course. And I couldn't have done it without your support. This is it's a little bit of resources to get here and do this and chop it together and pop it up on the YouTube. So if you could, share this video out with your friends, hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment down below. I love to talk with you guys about the Morgellons disease. All right, hope you guys have a great week, and if I can find the stop button, we'll see you soon. We will see you soon.